Okay, good morning, beautiful beings. Hope all is well with you. So today we're going to attend to kind of the next aspect of our transformation process that we're being guided through. And this process addresses our DNA. I've thought about this. Why the DNA? Well, if you think about it, we all have etheric formatting, right? We all have etheric formatting. Our process is to gradually shift to quantum crystalline, which is 5 and 6D. But we're programmed to be very 3D, aren't we? And I've learned some very interesting things about our DNA in the process of preparing for this. So we're going to kind of go through this. But first, we're going to just review what we learned sometime after Lionsgate last uh, last August. So when we were guided, shall we say, by a crystalline being to in how we should approach this process that we needed to do this. And I believe that we need to do this because if you can do it, you can hold way more sacred energy in your body. So we were guided, okay, we needed to up level our intellect, and we're learning about that. We're going to do a review here. And then they said energy, you got to upgrade your energy. Well, I was like, well, what do you mean you got to upgrade our energy? And what I realized as I was being guided through this by that channel, that is available for us to access. Energetic reformatting means literally before we can hold that crystalline frequency to the best of our ability, we've got to upgrade our DNA. And we're going to talk more about that. And then the third aspect of upgrading was being able to shift into this cognition and mindset and energetic ability to perceive those interconnected lines of force that are not the grid. They're not the grid. They're more of the hexagonal based, like a crystal. Crystal's hexagonal formation. So my sense is that as we kind of go through our process, we're going to we're going to run through things and then we're going to go deeper. And it's going to require, of course, work from you in your day-to-day lives. And a lot of that work just comes from just observing and then applying your spiritual hacks that we've been sharing and your IMs. And it's kind of a slow upgrade. And really that upgrade is really going to it's going to really assist us in that energetic formatting and in regards to our DNA. And I'll share a little bit more about that with you. So we were asked to have for intellect up level to access direct knowing via channels, via the so know into and bringing that into the posterior third eye. So, I was kind of imagining when I kind of brought this through that the channel was coming straight down through the top of the head and going into the back side of the third eye. And when I really have been practicing it, what I realized is that there's no channel coming down through the top of the head. It's literally your third eye, being accessed through the back of it, almost as it is the portal. It is the portal to 5D possibility. And what I'm going to say is it's quantum known. In other words, at any given moment, there is a very strong probable of what's in the works in this reality. And if one were to, and there's no time, when one moves onto the quantum, you take yourself out of time. So if I were to go out of time and go onto the quantum and look and get a feeling, no, don't take that route to work. And if I was really good, I'd go, why? I go, oh, there's a roadblock there. Oh, I would have had an accident, or this is going to be a quicker way, or I need to meet somebody that I need to have a talk with. So these are the reasons why we're being really encouraged to really just practice to the best of our ability, our intuition. And some of what we do is motivated by our turn towards 5D possibility, which means enacting more our lives from spiritual consciousness, A, and B, counterbalancing just some things that are going on in the world right now. And so that the first thing I think of is acts of kindness. Having a choice to do this or that, you check in for a second. And unless your body says, no, don't do that, if it's kind, you go with it. Now, I know someone who did something very kind for someone, but didn't check in. And this man is very, he's very tuned in, but he just thought, I'm gonna help this homeless guy out. Well, that guy unfortunately created a very big problem for the family. And I won't go into details about it. But in other words, a lot of you watching this, with the exception of a few, are females. And sometimes there's a little bit more in a way of being on our guard and being aware in terms of what's happening in 3D. And the same can be true for our male counterparts as well. But in other words, inclination to give, check in, this is a yes, and do it. Act of kindness, do it. But there's that pause for a moment and you get a yes. Okay. So some of this is just going to come to you in an intuitive flash, or perhaps in a very interesting dream, or you're going to be open to flow and you're going to have some synchronistic events that happen. Or this is what we really want, ahas. Like, oh my gosh, I just got X, Y, and Z. I just realized, and it's almost as if a piece of the quantum opens up and gives you a glimpse. So we want enhancement. We want so that our intellect isn't all about what our brain is telling us to do. It's a combination of obviously of common sense and taking care of business on the 3D plane, but it's also that pause. And I find that I almost look behind me like this. Like I pause for a moment and see if I get a yes or a no or a what. And sometimes just by doing that, I don't get anything immediately. But then let's say if I'm working on and with people, they say, oh, this is what's wrong. And I go, okay. And I check for a moment. Okay, start at the feet. And at some point, if they're energetic people, because I've opened the door, a piece of information comes through for them. It's like, well, hey, maybe I should ask about what's going on in their lives, or here's a sentence that comes through, and how can I say this that's not intrusive, but just a question. So we want to be excited about this possibility. That's what we want. We want to be excited about having access to quantum known. So there's quantum known, unknown, and the unknowable. And the unknown can be known to us. And it's things that we're evolving to be able to grasp. So quantum unknown is is still going to feed us things. And those can be some of those really beautiful ahas. Okay, so we're going to take a moment here. Um, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna practice because this is what we have to do, right? Okay, so I want y'all to close your eyes, pause your mind, your thoughts. Now, in this pause, we're going to take a little longer pause because I'm going to go on the quantum and see how I'm going to facilitate this process for you. So move into that pause, and any thoughts that arise, just let them go. And allow your attention to go to that back part of the head, into the cranium. And what we're going to do now is we're going to say yes to the sono channel activating from the quantum known and possibly the unknown. Okay, so nodding the head, say yes. Yeah. So, but the nodding of the head, yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Couple more times. Now allow that to open. And you become the witness. And then while you're there, go ahead. If you have a question, ask. Or if you get an instant insight, note it. Okay, so there's the simple process. And now here's the thing that I got. I got that we need to do a protection sequencing, kind of a grid, kind of something that makes sure that what comes through is authentic spiritual information and not any kind of misguidance. Because there are other intelligent sources out there that can possibly feed story to us. Okay, so we're going to start in what you could visualize as the center of your third eye. So you're going to go in from that portal a bit. And we're going to put a gold ring around that portal. Tiny, but there. And then I want each of you so I'm trying to describe how. So imagining you're behind the portal. I want you to look at the portal now, and I want you to draw 6 gold lines. And then arrange them. Let them arrange. They don't have to be actually. They don't have to necessarily be symmetrical, but you need 6. It's a filter buffer to attune just what's necessary for you to come through. And while you're all doing that and moving the lines around until it feels exactly right, I'm going to go into our field. So the lines are being placed accordingly. And then love, 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 love. Enhancing and creating a protection grid. There you go. Good. Very good. Enhancing the protection grid with love. And as always, our field, that universal, beautiful, gorgeous frequency of interconnectivity. And this now will beautifully bring us into our next piece of work, which we're going to talk about. And so the message I have for you is trust. And if things feel a little precarious or dicey, say, I trust. And excuse me, I am trust. Um, I am trust. And but retain your ability to check in and get yes or no's. And sometimes you can just say, close your eyes and is this the right thing to do? And maybe your head will move up and down, or it'll go no, because sometimes if you release to your intuition, it'll let you know. The other thing that I was told to tell you is that see if you can come up with ways to practice this. You know, uh, if you're just needing some guidance, go get a special book out and just kind of go through, oh, right there and open it up. So use that intuitive right there. Yeah. And then and see if there's a sentence there for you. So we want to begin to sashay our way into a more synchronistic flow and being in the right place at the right time. And also, is speaking with someone, you know, and it's talking about that sine wave again. And the sine wave, has that, it has the trough and it has the peak. And a lot of times we go through life and we hit those troughs and it's nothing we've done. right? It's nothing we've done. It's things are just, they just happen. It's someone's time to leave. There's been a change in a work environment, you know. Obviously, if there's anything that we're responsible for that shift, then we have to go in. But with each thing that occurs in our life that we react to with a, when we get there, this is the exact time to say, what is the reflection of this in my path? And it could be a past life. That's happening. You're creating that happening to get that jiggle of something from this life or a past life or extraplanetary life. It's a jiggle so that you remember it and go, oh, right. I need to resolve that, or I need to get the lesson of that, or I need to forgive myself or forgive someone else. I need to resolve karma. Those are all the things all the tasks that we're about right now. We got to use what comes to us, right? Okay, so we got two tests done today. We got intuitive portal open, some encouragement to get you to keep practicing, and then we got a protection sequence. And here's the other thing I'm going to say. I think, yeah, I get to say this, that as we're shifting our frequency base, we might just be more vulnerable to being affected by external things. And it's interesting because I'm really getting the message, don't travel. Don't travel this year. And even yesterday, I traveled 45 minutes away with some with some friends to go to Ojai. And as soon as I left Santa Barbara, I felt something. I felt this real strong fatigue. And we had a lovely time and everything, and came home and I'm like, oh, I needed that extra protection. So I went in and reformatted everything. And then my energy was back. And then I said, okay, so no, I don't know what the class is about tomorrow. So, and then it just unfolded. It was like, I thought it was going to be this. No, this is what we're doing. So I love that. I love the surprise of it. So the next piece that we're going to, is taking just kind of a look out in the world. First, we look way, way out there. And as we've talked about before, the universe is expanding in an accelerating evolutionary thrust. So it's moving out, reportedly, from the Big Bang, but it's getting faster. It's accelerating that. Okay. And here we are. For some reason, this tiny little planet is at a crossroads. It's at that place, evolve or devolve. And this planet's gone through cycles. It's gone through its lives. We're reportedly in the fourth or fifth one, depending on how you want to count. And there might even be things that we can't even conceive of that will be on, but they haven't estimated, time frame for how long the planet's been here. So, my big question is, we're evolving technology, but why aren't humans as a whole evolving synchronistically? What's stopping humanity's consciousness from just knowing, well, we're on this evolutionary cycle and it's time to go up one, cross the bridge to one more level of consciousness, not like leaving 3D, it's expanding into awareness of time, and then awareness of the quantum, awareness of interconnectivity, awareness of the frequency of love as the base of all things. I mean, is that too much to ask? And what I find interesting is, why we humans don't do it. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, because if you look at, dang, trees, trees, distances apart, know that that tree over there is getting attacked by a certain kind of bug and it's weakening it, sapping all the energy. Do you know what those trees do? They send rhizosome roots over and they feed the nutrients to that tree. Duh. You know, a pack of wolves knows that one of their own is, maybe it's a young one, is a little weaker. So they protect it. They go, okay, we haven't eaten for a while. All right, we'll go out and get food. We'll bring it back. It's not like, well, I'm going to go get food and eat it, and you're on your own, buddy. So it's really interesting. Like, what? So the other morning I woke up after a week of really processing through things, and I made a real breakthrough. And I heard, but the first time I said, good work, I heard, I'm like, well, whoever you are, thank you. But then I saw this very interesting thing. And I looked everywhere for a picture for this and wasn't able to find it. But I saw these lines of energy going across my vision path. And, I don't know how many were. And then I heard the words millennial strands of control. Millennial strand. And it made total, like for thousands of years, we haven't been in pack mentality. We've been in tribal rule. So it used to be pack, kind of more matrilineal. You know, you all have to work or you don't survive. But then they figured out some things, and it got hierarchical, and we see that in a very expanded mode right now. And you don't really want the pack, what you would call the pack, to evolve beyond our control. And so, we just see this, I mean, in so many ways. And a lot of things are painted in a very particular color, and there's ideologies there that are very they're very much about promoting this control, and it's been going on for millennia as we look back through history. So, in all of this, you look at how we are and what we're born into and how we're raised and how we develop and what we take on. And there's just, I think some of the beings that are coming in right now, I think their DNA is a lot more developed because the energy is here for it. I know a lot of us are working really hard to expand our consciousness. Okay. So our energetic configuration is reflected in our DNA. And apparently, there's 12 to 13 strands, of which we are only using 2, and they call the rest junk protein. But no, they're finding out, no, you can't get rid of the junk protein. In fact, I read somewhere, which I think is very interesting, that all that extra protein. So right now, as an adult, you're using about 3% of your DNA, right? And that's going to do, the telomeres are going to decrease with age, and then your body's going to give out, unless you work on actually enhancing the telomeres. And there is a way to do that, and I can let you guys know about it later, because it's expensive, but I think it works. So our DNA has been programmed for this limited survival. In ancient times, ancient times, there were beings that probably lived way beyond 100 years. And then it got really knocked down, right? And so, back in the day, there were people who lived to be 100, but there were a lot of people through starvation and, climate alterations, flooding, this and that, they died died at a young age. And that's happening now. There's starvation all over the world. And it just gets me. It really gets me. There's things we can do about it, but it needs to be done on a larger scale. So our instincts for pack cohesion have diminished because we've become survival of the fittest. One friend of mine said, if you look at the development of animals and trees and things like that, and here they are, and maintaining. We're just barely out of our teen stage. We're like 12 years old in terms of our overall, if you're to look at the overview of all humanity, we're at the teen stage because we haven't figured out you got to take care of not only the planet, your food sources, but you got to take care of each other. And you have to also go, all right, well, there's, possibly a limit to how many beings can be on here. So, we have to go, okay, you have one child, I don't know how that's going to work, but we haven't figured it out. And a lot of the other species, if we don't intervene, especially with pollution and things heating up, they go on and on and on. So it's time. I don't know how it's all going to work. I really don't, but it's time for us to do what we can do. Okay. So now I'm thinking about, because in one of our last meditations, when that sono channel got opened up and brought through, it did migrate its way down into some part in our torso where it appeared to be reacting or connecting to or doing something with the DNA. Okay. So, if you do your research, you go, yeah, well, there's some DNA that's not fully activated. And this unactivated DNA, like I said, could possibly hold soul memories and unfinished evolution business. So all the parts of your ego, all the things, the way that you got programmed when you were young, and your soul memories, not only as a past life, but in other formations, we'll say other dimensions, other formations. So I know a lot of you have worked in this way, gone in and seen things and had things manifest and cleared them. And so your DNA is already probably in enhancement mode. But what we want to do is we want to get this work coming in and help guide us through how we're going to get the maximum activation of our DNA so that we can reformat to quantum crystalline. So to live as 5-6D quantum crystalline beings, we want to include 3D and 4D time space. To do the both, we're going to go through our DNA and increase the number of strands that are activated and their ability to hold intelligence. Okay. Energetic configuration regulating the strands, sequencing and activating is located at T12. So I want you to think about your rib cage. So the rib, the rib on the side, the T12, the 12th rib, it goes kind of in towards the spine and up a bit, and right around there is your T12, your thoracic. Okay. Interestingly enough, this area, that part of the spinal column, also activates the adrenal glands. Okay. So what, I want you to reach back there and just kind of, and you can also kind of count up the bumps from your lower back. So there's 5 of those that are lumbars, and then you just come out, you find that 12. As long as you're in the general area, this is where we're going to access. Okay, so we're going to see what is in store for us right now. So I am going to have us shift here, and we're going to do an activation of the whatever additional strands are available for you today. And my sense is the work that I've done with that has actually really enhanced my health in a very interesting way, as evidenced by lab work. So, so we're going to see what happens today, and we're going to work with you here. Okay. So I would like you to close your eyes. And you're going to enter through the back of your cranium and nod your head again at that portal. And we're going to pause there for a few moments. And there's going to build up a charge there. And we're going to begin to direct that charge down the brain stem. So the third eye does connect right with that brainstem. It's the pineal gland. You come and you just intuitively follow it down. And it goes to the bottom of your skull, the occiput. And then it's going to enter the spinal column, the spinal cord. And we're going to guide it down, one vertebra at a time. And you might have a little sensation going with that. Moving down, just moving down just behind now the heart. It kind of pulses its way down to move. And then just below the area in front, which would be kind of the bottom of your rib cage and down a little bit further on the front, and that's where it is in the back. We're going to allow that train of frequency from pineal all the way down to now gather at that T12. And I hear the words pack intelligence. It's the place right here where you sense, where all the geese sense to move when they're traveling in that V formation or that pack of emus know how to run very close to each other, etc. Sorry, it's that pack intelligence there. Okay, you guys are getting it. Getting it. And we're going to say it's pack awareness. That's even a better word. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. They're now saying, who is your pack? And your cat could be your pack. Your friend across, the state could be your pack. Who is your pack? And kind of nod your head. Who is your pack? I'm doing it right now with my pack. There. Now, they're saying extend a line of gold out to each of those pack beings. And they may be people that you can talk to about what is going on. They may just be people that you love. You don't want entanglement. That's why we're doing the gold. And then we're going to translate this configuration to the DNA modulator. And obviously, if you have kids, that's probably already there. Family members there. But include those you go, yeah. There. And then we're just going to say the word enhance, enhance, enhance. Enhance the strands. And then as a enhancement in the 3D level, if you can make sure that you're getting enough vitamin D, that's going to help translate. Vitamin D. Enhance, 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 enhance. And then nod your head. Yes, 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 yes. So this is all things that you get to choose. There's always choice here. It's always choice. Okay, good. Very good. Okay, and then we pull that channel up and back into the third eye so that it records, yes, now you might be getting a hit. I got to call so-and-so. And then, or so-and-so, and then they call you. So it's, this is working on many levels. Intuition first, energetic enhancement second, interconnectivity third. So it's a threefer plus protection. There we go. Okay. And then we radiate love, 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 love. There you go. Okay. Right, beautiful beings. We find our way back to the known of 3D. And I want to thank you for joining us and doing the work and enhancing our field and all that you do just with every positive thought and with every act of kind of what you're just doing for the pack, the very large pack. So we will have a beautiful full moon meditation this week on Thursday, 7 o'clock Pacific time. So please join us if you can. It'll be a blood moon, lunar eclipse. So there'll be some interesting frequencies that will be shared with us. And anyway, have a very beautiful week ahead and bring, just weave all this in, and, you might need to view this again and just take notes, you know. And sometimes you just go, okay, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to just open the channel and see if I get anything for the day. And if you don't, that's okay. But in time, what'll happen is that'll just, that'll open and then things will unfold. And sometimes if I'm not totally booked with work, I just go, I don't know what I'm going to do today. And the next thing appears, and the next thing appears, and the next thing appears. And before you know it, a lot of things have been accomplished, but I let that flow unfold as a practice. And I think it's a good one. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Namaste. Okay, blessings.